I'm one step ahead of him.
Hey there gamers, and welcome to Ultravision's 21st game review, which is Call of Duty Black Ops 2 for the Xbox 360. The latest installment in the mega popular Call of Duty franchise. Does the latest edition have the power to keep gamers around? Let's find out. Black Ops 2's story takes place in two time periods. The 1980s, where you play as Alex Mason and Frank Woods, and the year 2025 as David Mason. The plot revolves around a cyber-terrorist leader named Raul Menendez, who plans to use the Cordis D organization to turn China against America, sparking a Third World War. The missions from the 1980s are a retelling of how Raul Menendez came to power, mainly told by Frank Woods.
While we're fucking around in the Middle East, the Russians and the Chinese are getting real cozy. Now, the politicians, they want you to think this is about ideology. It's a lot of horse shit.
And the mission set in the future is how David Mason tends to stop the cyber attack. At first, the story is a bit overdramatic and confusing, but as the game progresses it begins to get very gripping and interesting, as well as leading up to a thrilling final confrontation. Overall, the story for Black Ops 2 is a well-written and well-told story, and with the inclusion of multiple endings, the story can be affected in any way for better or for worse.
谢谢. Thank you, Madam President. Your actions speak louder than any words.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is split into three main game types: campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. The single player involves you going through many linear levels, blasting enemies and completing objectives. Some missions are varied by adding stealth-based missions, where silence is key to avoid chaotic firefights. Most of the time, you will be tasked with side objectives that allow you to access hidden areas of the level. Completing these objectives accordingly will affect the overall outcome of the story.
To those ye serve, your life means nothing!
Also new to Black Ops 2 are Strike Force missions, which involve you leading a team of SEALs to accomplish objectives in a real-time strategy and first-person manner. The Strike Force missions are a fun and welcome addition, but unfortunately, the controls are very poorly mapped out, and the AI isn't really that intelligent when trying to advance on an objective. These missions can be skipped but will affect the outcome of the story greatly. The campaign is the best of all the Call of Duty games, but other than traditional intel collecting and difficulty completing, the single player isn't something you'll be dying to come back to. Zombies mode is back and is by far the best of all the previous Call of Duty games. The standard mode of survival is once again incorporated with new weapons, perks, and maps, but the greatest addition is the new transit mode, which involves you traveling around all the maps in attempts to survive. It is immensely challenging and fun to play, and is the best addition to Black Ops 2. Finally, there is the famous multiplayer mode, which I personally found the least interesting of Black Ops 2. Once again, it pits you or a team in a handful of game modes taking on other players using overpowered weapons and a rather lousy design of maps. Camping and spawn killing is inevitable, not to mention annoying host migrations and a lack of any originality. You'll find almost the exact game modes from Modern Warfare 3, with very little to no new additions. It's certainly not deserving of Multiplayer of the Year, as it feels like the same twitch-fingered gameplay many have grown to love or hate. But overall, the multiplayer is exactly what the previous Call of Duty games prior have established. So if you're not a fan of the style, then you won't enjoy the multiplayer so much.
That is gonna hurt the bottom line.
The graphics in Black Ops 2 are visually pleasing. They are slightly better than previous Call of Duty games, but not by much. The game's cinematic sequences are the best visuals in the game, and very well done. The game is given a nice futuristic vibe too, which looks great, and the stand-up moments look spectacular. There is some room for polishing, but at the end of the day, Black Ops 2's graphics are visually solid.
That's how we get shit done. Good work, Mason.
Control-wise, Black Ops 2 has retained the same layout as all previous Call of Duty games in its franchise. Maneuvering, sprinting, knifing, and aiming is done by the control sticks. The A button jumps and the B button crouches and goes prone. The Y button switches weapons and the X button reloads and picks up weapons. The right trigger is to fire your gun and the left trigger aims down the sights. Finally, the left and right bumpers use your grenades and equipment accordingly. Overall, Black Ops 2's controls are great, and any fan of the franchise or modern FPS games can easily get to grips with the control layout, as they are similar to almost all other modern FPS games. Black Ops 2's soundtrack is fine for the most part. It's mainly drowned out by loud firefights, but when you can hear the music, it provides some thrilling atmosphere, and is well done. The voice acting is also good. The cast is very diverse, and it is an all-around job well done by everyone. Frank Woods has to be my personal favorite of the bunch.
Safety's on, dipshit.
Overall, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is what fans of the series can expect from previous entries from the franchise. The campaign has some nice additions, but is nothing special. The zombies mode is fantastic, and the multiplayer is the weakest improvement of the bunch. Any fan of the series will undoubtedly purchase it and its DLC, but all in all, Black Ops 2 is an average addition to the series.